All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My second interview of the day. I got Point Pleasant Beach senior soccer player Emma Acanfora. Emma, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
We were supposed to do this last week, but technical troubles. I'm glad to finally be able to get this interview done. How's everything going with school? What is Point Beach? What are they doing? Virtual, hybrid?
So we do 4 days a week, and Wednesdays are like all online, and it's a half day.
Okay, so Wednesday's only half day.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, at the end of last year, it just kind of got thrown to the teachers and the students. Did you have a hard time adjusting to where I'm assuming, all the schools went all virtual? Did you have a hard time adjusting to that?
Yeah, I had a hard time being motivated at the end of the year.
I could see that. And imagine if that happened your senior year, it'd probably be even harder to motivate. So that being said, let's get into soccer. How old were you when you started playing soccer?
I think 5.
5.
Whenever you could join rec.
Okay. Now you started Point Pleasant soccer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Point Pleasant Soccer Club.
Did you play any other sports when you were younger?
I grew up playing softball.
Softball?
Mm-hmm.
When did you make the switch where soccer became a
8th
priority?
grade, I decided to only focus on soccer.
Okay. What was the reasoning behind that?
I didn't like the sport anymore. It was too slow.
Yes, I could see soccer players having an issue with the speed of softball. Actually, me and Sophia were joking earlier about, because I get complaints why I don't cover any spring sports. It's only soccer and basketball.
Yeah.
And I said, can you imagine sitting at a softball game? You don't know when it's gonna end. Like, there's no time. I mean, I wrote for the Coast Star for 5 years, and when I had to cover softball and baseball events, I would be like, oh no.
I can't.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have a younger brother.
Younger brother? Does he play sports?
He plays baseball.
Baseball? All right, so you can't even that's things can't. Do you help him at all with baseball since you do have a little bit of a softball background?
Not anymore. We used to practice together.
Okay. I like to ask players this: what have your parents meant to you? Your development, because it's a lot different from when I used to play. A lot more travel, a lot more intense with the schedule.
Well, my dad used to take me to match fit practice, which is like an hour and a half away. So we'd spend a lot of time together. My mom knows nothing about soccer. It's so funny. But my dad was always my coach growing up, so he means a lot. He helped me a lot.
So that's good. So I'm assuming he was your first coach?
Yes.
Now you played Point Pleasant. Did you play any other teams besides Point Pleasant and Match Fit?
I play for PDA now, PDA Shore.
PDA Shore, is that where you are now?
Yeah.
Who's your current coach?
Lowe Santa Cruz.
Lowe? I was with him at the Brick vs. Cranford game. I was sitting with that whole game, the whole PDA Shore gang. My niece does the PDA Shore that Friday training sessions.
Yeah.
She's only 8, but the coaches are great, especially with
the
younger kids. And they were great. They were joking with me like we were best buds, and I just met them. So that's a good group of people. Who are some of your teammates on the PDA Shore?
I used to play with Abby Angelucci. She graduated. Who else would you know? Reese Beggs. A lot of them play for Freehold Township and like Toms River East. Those big schools.
We were talking when I was talking with Sophia. It's weird how when I was growing up, it was you played with your hometown. That was it.
Yeah.
And now you're spread out. You're playing with kids from all over. Do you find that beneficial, because you're basically going up like some of the best talent, not only just in your area, but
I'm really glad I left my club. I left in 8th grade, I think, to join academy soccer. I don't think I would be anywhere as good if I didn't leave.
Yeah, they have a great program. I really enjoy, especially if I end up taking my niece to practice. It's just fun, and like I said, a great group of guys, and I know some of the other players, younger, a couple grades younger than you, and it's a great group. Moving, talking about moving to the high school, Point Beach. What were some goals you set? You're going into school your freshman year. What were some goals you wanted to achieve over 4 years playing soccer at Point Beach?
My goals well, my dad has always made me write down like my goals before each season.
Okay.
My goals were, I think it was like 10 goals and 5 assists. Okay. And just to get as much playing time as I could. But I knew Adam coming in, so like I wouldn't say I had an advantage, but I knew what I was getting myself into.
So who's the coach at Point Beach?
Adam Curtis.
And he's been there since you started?
Yeah, he's been there for a long time.
That's good. So you get, you said you knew him before that, but it's good, knowing the system and it not changing,
Yeah.
over every year, new coach might be coming in, changing the strategy. When you were a freshman, were there any like upperclassmen that you kind of went to if you had a question or issue?
She was a junior my freshman year. Her name was Michaela Hughes. I've known her forever, but we were really close, and she was a really good player.
Anything that she tried to teach you that you were able to carry on for the next 4 years?
She taught me a lot about leadership because she was like a leader even in her junior year, going into her senior year.
Okay. What were some accomplishments you had your freshman year?
I had the most goals out of the freshmen. I think I had like 8 goals and 6 assists, maybe. I played the most. I started the most. Stuff like that.
Okay. Which people don't understand. Coming in as a freshman and being able to start, or even getting a lot of playing time, that's a big accomplishment in high school. Now moving into your sophomore year, what was something you were looking to improve on from your freshman year?
I wanted to score more. Simple.
Now you play forward, so that that is your main job, just put the ball in the net. Your sophomore year, your team made it to the Central Jersey Group 1 finals, right? Group 1?
Group
1? Yeah. Talk about the state run and, matching up, sure, always, usually a powerhouse, we'll talk a little more about sure, when we talk about this season, but talk, just that run, how it felt, that's a pretty good accomplishment, especially in this area, making it to the finals. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I believe was the game like 2-1 or 2-0, so it was close. I mean, we had beaten a couple teams before that I don't think we were supposed to beat, so we were just happy with that. I mean, it always sucks every year.
Now, your junior year, did you played Shore again your junior year?
Yes.
Basically 3 out of 4 years? Shore was the team you?
4 out of 4 years. It was just
4.
Depending on if it was the finals or the semifinals.
Semifinals. So there's some history there,
Yeah.
So, how did you what was the score your junior year? Do you remember?
My junior year, it was 6-1.
Okay. Well, so last year they had a pretty good team last year, but they had a really good team the year before when you guys only lost 2-1.
Yeah.
So, I got to see Shore last year. They were pretty
They were really good last year.
Yeah. So we'll go to your senior season. I got to watch. I did get to see you play junior year against St. Rose. I was at that game because.
Oh, I had a bad game that game. I had to be taken off the field. I couldn't run.
Were you injured?
Yeah.
I don't know how. What was the injury, do you know?
No, I just don't think I could run anymore. We had played our rival game, Point Borough, the 2 days before maybe, and I played the entire game, and it was terrible.
So, would you say St. Rose and Point Borough are probably the Point Beach's big rivalries?
Yeah, St. Rose definitely has been up there, especially since we lost to them like the 3 years in a row. It was definitely put up there. That's like a more recent thing too.
Yeah, same division. last year when I saw the team the junior year, I was just getting back into soccer. I was doing basketball, but I mean, you girls gave St. Rose a tough game that game.
Yeah.
Where because I didn't know anything about Point Beach, and I was like, oh wow, this team's pretty good. Now let's talk your senior year now. During the summer, COVID and everything, did you think the season was going to happen?
No.
No,
Did not. I had no faith.
Even when practices started with those phases that they rolled out, you still weren't confident.
Because we were getting told like, oh, if this happens, like the department was gonna shut down this season. We were like, okay, no, you're not. But
yeah, I feel bad, girl, you players, especially seniors, going through this your last season, you not knowing like when they're just going to pull the plug on it, that had to be tough. Which is one reason I tried to catch so many games early in the season because didn't know, if the state was going to be shut down. So once you did the phases and then they shut down, they had to close everything down for 2 weeks when school started, and then you were able. What was it like finally being able to get onto the field and doing like a full practice and scrimmage?
It just felt normal. Like before when we were training, it was only 3 days a week. I was only allowed to be like an hour. It was just, it just felt good to be back.
Yeah. When I was doing the preseason interviews with the coaches, even Coach Caruso, Brick Memorial, that first one practice was able to go, contact scrimmage. He said, I don't want to see another, dribbling drill or conditioning drill. He goes, I just want to get them on the field.
Yeah.
So what are some goals you had, for this season that you and the other seniors and the coach set for this season?
We wanted to make it to the finals. Obviously, we wanted to win. We wanted to, if we played Borough, we wanted to beat them, and St. Rose was up there. We kept trying to get that game rescheduled.
Oh yeah, because the one game it was rained out, right?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, I remember because talking to the St. Rose coach, and he was trying. Yeah. He finally had it between COVID, games being canceled for COVID, and then the weather. Yeah. I feel bad for, the ADs, everyone just trying to, fit as many games in as they could.
Yeah.
And then there was restrictions, I think, how many games you could play in a week too this year. So, let's talk at the St. Rose game. Overtime, right? You lost in overtime. That game went to overtime. That was a really good back and forth game.
It was.
What was reaction when Maggie put that ball in the net?
Oh, we were all so mad. I mean, not to talk down on any team, but St. Rose doesn't have the best sportsmanship, so it kind of sucked even more because they were so rude about it. Like things were said that didn't have to be said, so it just burned a little bit more.
That happens with the rivalries, especially two good teams. I mean, especially the history going through 4 years playing the same team. Another game I want to talk, to me, it was one of the best games I saw all season, was the Trinity Hall game, at your home game.
Yes.
Back and forth game. They're a physical team.
Yes, very.
To me, one of the more physical teams, but they get a very talented team. What was your reaction when you tied the game? It was probably the last minute of regulation.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you saw that ball go in the net?
We were, oh my God, ecstatic. We were ready for the next 20 minutes. We knew that, we were like, oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Just so excited.
Yeah. For people that don't know, it was 4-3, right? It was 4-3. And then, the final minute, who scored the goal?
Naima Shortridge.
Okay. Put it in the net it was in extra time.
Yeah.
Because I was looking up, because I had the clock going on my phone, and I was like, oh, when is he going to blow his whistle soon?
Yeah.
And it looked like the Trinity coach was getting a little angry because he thought the game. I mean, he was on the other side of the field, and I would see. Yeah. But it made sense because you stopped the clock for goals, and there were 7 goals, and I think 5 of them were in the second half.
Yeah.
And a player got injured. So, to stop the clock then. So I thought it was about right. And I actually talked to, not that game, but refs, they hate it when the clock is going on the scoreboard because, they, if they, like if a play, like say your possession inside the 18, they might let the play run out before they blow it half where the horn goes off and they have to end it.
Yeah.
So, and then you girls came out into overtime, and to me, you controlled overtime. You just couldn't put it
I agree.
in.
Yeah. We just couldn't put in our opportunities.
But it was a great, as me as just a fan, and it was such a fun game to be at, and I've never been at a game where a goal was scored in the last minute like that. It was such an impactful goal. Want to talk, it was weird postseason, no Shore Conference tournament.
Yeah.
But you did get to have a sectional talk. Last season you make another good run and you end up playing Shore again in the finals. Talk about the final game today a little bit.
Oh, the final game. It was. We scored in the first. First 3 minutes. I think so. And then we held them till there was 10 minutes left in the first half. I mean, we weren't expecting them not to score, so that wasn't we weren't surprised, but it was how they scored. Both the goals weren't amazing shots from outside the 18. There were shots that could have easily been if our backline just talked more.
Okay. That seems to be, I noticed in high school, is a lot of goals are scored on corner kicks.
Yeah.
Or there's some kind of miscommunication in the back line. And I agree. What position do you play forward for PDA?
I do.
Okay, because I know a lot of club teams. Sometimes you play different positions than high school, which I didn't realize until I talked to Katie Coyle from Middletown. She plays defense, and she's going. Next year she's going to be playing defense in college. So you've been basically a forward your whole career.
Yes.
Okay, is that the position you like? You like putting the ball in the net?
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit. A couple of your teammates, seniors. Daryl, is it Daryl?
Yes, Daryl.
To me, she stood out last year when I saw her at the St. Rose game. Good midfielder. How does she help you? Because I noticed she has a lot of assists, and I'm assuming most of them to you.
Yes.
How does she make your job easier to score?
Oh, she just knows where to put the ball and when to put it. That's her gift. And we've been playing together since I played for Point. So we've known each other for forever. So it's just so easy to play with her.
Do you think that makes it easier playing with somebody for so long like that?
Yes, 100%. Because I know what she's gonna do, and she knows exactly what I'm gonna do.
That's good, especially like a midfielder when she knows where her forward's gonna be at the particular point. Another senior, Allie. She's a senior, right?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about her because to me she does a little bit of everything.
Yes, I think Allie is a very underrated player. She gets recognition, but not all of it that she deserves. She's another player that I've played with since we were little. She's really, really good at defense, and I don't think people give her enough recognition for it. If we didn't have her, she didn't play our freshman year. If we did not have her the past 3 seasons, we wouldn't have such a great record.
It's always good when you have a good anchor, on defense. And I know she doesn't get the media attention, but I know talking to parents from other schools in the Shore, she is thought of highly by other parents and stuff. I was talking to a parent yesterday when I was, trying to finish my all Shore teams, and her name came up. So she is thought of highly.
Good.
Another girl I want to talk about is your goalie, Morgan. To me, another player gets no recognition, and I'm very high on her as a goalie. I like her back there. How is she as a teammate, and what do you thoughts about her?
Well, her and I are very alike. We the conversations we've had before and after games. I agree. I think she doesn't get enough recognition because I think she does as much as she can with what she's given. Not everyone is a soccer player. Do you know what I mean? Not everyone plays soccer how the 5 of us play soccer. So with what she was given, I think she did a really good job. She stepped in for Tony Abdi after Tony left, and that's really, like, coming after Tony was really hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's why her sister doesn't play anymore, because it's a really hard job to fill, and everyone knew it. She does a very good job.
Yeah, and it takes a certain mindset, I think, to be a goalie. Like,
yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's a tough position, and I'm glad she's a sophomore, right? Yeah, she was on. I had her as my all sophomore goalie.
Yes.
But it'd be good. I'm glad to get to see her for another couple seasons.
Yeah.
You talk about sophomore. What are some of the things you're being a senior leader? Some of the things you tried to teach the younger classmen to carry on in Point Pleasant.
Well, I mean, it was a tough season. Like, a lot of the games we lost, it was like by 1 goal, and if it wasn't by 1 goal, then not in a mean way, we deserved to lose. Like, we lost to East Brunswick. They like finished top 10 in the state. Yeah. Like, that was a good game to play. Yeah. But we told them, like, we had to remind them a lot that, like, it's not how we say it, it's what we say on the field. Because again, not a lot of players have like played the highest level like we have. So they like weren't understanding in that part, but it was a really easy group to lead. I mean, we were all friends. We knew them already, so.
Yeah, and to comment on, not every, like, you're a soccer player, but people don't realize, like, public schools, when you're filling the roster out, sometimes you're just getting athletes, to fill in some of these spots where, the private schools where, St. Rose, RBC, you're going there to play soccer, you're going there to play basketball. That's your sports, where public schools, like, even Bricks, Point Pleasant, you might be a basketball player, but you just play soccer, help fill the roster, and, because you're good athletes. Before we talk about your future in college, you do a little round robin quick questions, your favorite things.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite subject?
Math.
Math. That was mine in high school, and then I went to English. What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza. What is your favorite TV show?
The Office.
Favorite movie? Favorite movie?
Oh, hard. Grown Ups 2.
Okay. Good movie. What's your favorite number?
2 or 21.
2. Now, 2 is your high school number. What's 21?
21 is my club number.
Okay. Last question of this. What is something you like to do in your free time, not soccer?
Work out. I don't know. I don't do it a lot other than soccer.
Yeah, a lot of kids people don't realize that, when you're playing at that level, especially, like the PDAs and match fits, it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
And then you're throwing schoolwork on top of that.
Exactly.
Now you're committed. You're going, where are you? Westland?
Virginia Wesleyan.
Okay. What was some of the factors why you picked that school?
They have a really good bio program, and I want to be a vet. And they have, like, one of the requirements is you have to do like a internship, and one of the internships was like with some, like, around the animal, like working with animals. So I picked it because of that.
Well, that answered that question, what you want to study. So you want to be a vet. How long have you known you wanted to be a vet?
I just decided this year, actually.
Okay. Anything else you were considering before you decided?
Physical therapist.
Physical therapist. You kids are so much smarter than when I was in school. Vets, nurses, doctors, physical therapists, lawyers. When I was in school, you played sports and you didn't care about school. The last question, then, we'll wrap up, let you go. If you could give your younger self advice, what would it be?
That other people's talent doesn't, like, mean anything about your own. Like, keep working on yourself. Like, try not to focus on others.
That's smart, especially this day and age with social media. Everybody's business is out there. Just focus on yourself. Get yourself better.
Yeah.
All right, Emma, I appreciate you joining me. I'm glad we finally were able to get this
Me
done.
too.
And I wish you luck next season.
Thank you.
And good luck. Club soccer's still going on, right?
Yes, I have a game this weekend.
Where are you playing?
We play out of Donovan Catholic.
Okay. Actually, I think if the winter session happens, my niece is doing that winter program, and
It's good. It's a nice field.
yeah, is it? Are you in the new dome?
Yes, we do practice there. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Okay. And I know there's a lot of games going on this weekend with I think some up at PDA North too.
Mm-hmm.
So who are you playing?
We play PDA South. It's the team that Riley Tiernan plays for, and all of them. Yeah.
Should be good.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, there's PDA, such a strong North South Shore.
Yeah.
There's
Yep.
so many great players. Well, I wish you luck this weekend. I wish you luck next year in
Thank
college.
you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Emma.